7 bells.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Trish.
Mrs. Brew?
Here.
Mr. Kramer?
Here.
Mr. Menechini?
Here.
Mr. Moraro?
Here.
Mr. Pop?
Approval of the agenda. Do I have any questions on the agenda? If not, I need a motion.
Make motion to approve the agenda?
Support.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menechini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes. Move on to approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 7th, 2022. Do I have any questions on any of the minutes? If not, I would need a motion.
Make motion to approve the minutes of regular meeting of November 7th, 2022.
Support.
Mr. Menechini?
Yes.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Move on to the approval of the manifest 2022 in the amount of $264,151.54. Scott, you got any?
I have nothing to make.
Brett?
I have none, thank you.
Jeff?
Nothing.
Rico?
No questions.
I have none. If not, since there is no questions, do I have a motion?
I move for the approval of manifest 2022-22 in the amount of $264,151.54.
Support.
Mr. Moraro?
Yes.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Brew?
Yes?
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Menechini?
Yes.
Do we have any previous questions?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Move on to public comment. Any item of interest, anyone in the audience wishing to address the council on any item of interest shall do so now at the podium. State your name, address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. We have none. Public comment on agenda items. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council on an agenda item only shall do so now at the podium. State your name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes. We'll move on to action, discussion, DPW, unit number 10, repairs. Mr. Stoltman?
Yeah, on my memo, I made a mistake, unit 101, not unit 10, or 102, I'm sorry, not unit 10. As I kind of said in one of the other meetings with repairs, good years and bad years, this is certainly turning out to be a bad year. Previous meeting, council approved a potential repair of this particular problem for around $6,000. We were hoping that would be the result, with the potential that it could be worse. It's worse. They looked at it. My understanding is the engine needs to be replaced, which you'll see between parts in the motor and labor, it's around $33,000. Good news is we only spent $900 of the last repair of $6,000, but they spent $900 in labor to determine that it wasn't worth moving forward. I asked a couple of questions that I kind of thought you guys might ask, and some of it's, what is this vehicle? Is it worth trying to fix now, or can it wait until another budget? It is in our snow fleet. It doesn't sound like it always runs a plow. It can run a plow, but it's mainly used for the snow removal. If we decided to park it and wait, likely we'd have to contract with someone to do that work, and odds are to have them available when we need them, and unlikely. My other question was value. It's an 06. If the rest of the chassis and everything is okay, you put in a $33,000 motor, what's the value? Are we spending more than it's worth? Rick looked into that. He thought right now going is around $60,000 to $80,000. So at least it's value still gonna be there more than what we put into it. Longevity, again, you put this money into the motor, how is the vehicle otherwise. According to our mechanic, everything else is sound several more years. You know, you wanna buy a new one, which at some point we'll probably talk about long-term replacements, it's 210,000 and 2 years out. So if we want it on the road, this is the price we have to pay. That maintenance budget will be over this year. This will put it over by about 10,000.
With 7 months left.
With 7 months left. And things are not trending to go well. Maybe this will be it.
You got a 16-year-old truck. Any way you look at it. I mean, we can't go out there and rent a dump truck. I mean, there's guys that got dump trucks that park them all winter long, right? Dualies, triples, whatever. I mean, they're not digging dirt in the winter.
Yeah, you'd probably have to rent it for the season and keep it on site. And then majority of the time you wouldn't be using it.
Right.
So, we could look at renting, I don't know.
Talk to, one of the, I know Morn used to do some of this stuff when we got overloaded, I think. We had a contract with them, didn't we?
He did.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a matter of waiting until another budget to fix this, I don't think it matters. Whether you pay for it now and that line item goes over, or you pay for it in a new budget, it's
Well,
still.
I guess the next question for me is, with a 16-year-old truck, to throw $33,500 into it, to get 2 or 3 or 4 years out of it.
Well, it sounded like my impression from them was like a 10 plus more years.
Okay, well, that would be good to know. If they're
Yeah,
thinking,
I'll get a verification on.
if 16 years isn't old for a truck like that, and they think they're gonna get 10 years out of it, sure.
What about the warranty? Any warranty?
Not on that, no.
We'll get a warranty.
We're looking at,
Is it a new motor?
on the new motor warranty? I'll check on that.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
I,
That was
Huh? 1 year? Thank you.
Is that what, yeah, there's a memo for Rick that goes in a little more detail, about it. So, it's not a,
I just don't like relying on somebody else. I don't know if he's talking about having the dump truck here all the time.
well, if we
renting
were,
that dump
I think
truck.
in Jeff's
You
thing,
can't-
you'd
yeah.
have to have it, we'd have to
That's
rent
what
it
I'm-
now
that's
for
what I'm-
the
that's what I'm
season
saying.
and leave it, so it's just gonna sit for a lot of the time you're paying for it.
And do you really wanna delay when we're gonna need it, right? Cause it's gonna take a while to fix it.
Yeah, and right now it's sitting in parts at UP International, because that's where it was for the original fix. So if we don't do it now, we'll have to kind of pack it up, put it on something,
Well,
tow it out of there.
did you have David look at the budget to see if he can cut somewhere, so?
I mean, we looked at it, what I told him was, we're just gonna have to be as tight as we can.
And- Yeah, and if
And
there's
you know, if-
something in there that we were gonna buy this year, we might have to wait till the next budget.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, as long as the entirety of the general fund budget is within budget, we'll be okay.
I know,
I'm
but I
not
like,
terribly confident in any of it.
right, But I still look at that budget.
Yep. No, we talked,
Separately.
it's, and I don't know if we have big expenses in public works
I'm gonna have to I'll look at the budget too,
coming in
but.
that. But it's, it'll certainly put that line item over budget and that budget over at the end of the year.
Any other thoughts? Brett, you have any?
I think I'd like to see what the, what the rental of a dump truck, or if anybody would be willing to rent a dump truck for the winter months, to try and get us out from underneath it just a little bit longer, just to maybe, if there's a different avenue or something else out there. That's just my personal opinion, I guess.
It's not gonna solve the long-term problem.
It's not, you know what I mean, but maybe you could find a used dump truck relatively cheaper than that 210,000.
But do
I'm
we
not-
have
I'm not
time
sure.
for that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
we use it to haul snow off Main Street,
I don't
so
know.
I mean, we can't go without a dump truck.
No.
I mean, according to Rick's, I didn't verify this, but he thought our truck with that, motor or any motor is still 60 or 80,000 in that condition. So if we're looking at a used one once with a good motor,
Right.
it'd probably be around 60 or 80.
Probably more.
So you're halfway there with the engine replacement.
Well, that's kind of it, you know, you're at 33,000 with an engine replacement. If you're only gonna spend, let's call it 60,000 on a used one that's in better shape, I'm not sure that the engine's the way to go. You know, if everything else in the chassis, the rear end and all the hydraulics, everything else, drivetrain is all in good shape, okay, but.
Because you also could put that kind of money into a used one, and we could turn
Absolutely.
around and have to put a
Absolutely.
motor or tranny or something.
I like knowing what we know, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's a bunch of ifs.
He knows the truck.
Yeah, Rick knows the truck.
yep.
The way I read this is Rick thinks this is a sound investment.
I'm not overly happy that
Oh, yeah.
we got one bid and it happens to be in pieces at that place, cause they kinda got us by
Well,
the short
yeah,
hairs.
we had bids on the original fix.
No, I understand why we got one bid, but it's still one bid.
my opinion is put the new motor in, but that's just my opinion is,
Well, I can, you know, if council doesn't want to move forward with it right now, then we'll look at
We need a truck.
the cost of renting a dump truck for the season, and then we can see, you know, if we're interested in purchasing a new to us used one, how long that process will take, I'm not sure, but we can look and see what's out there.
Well, let's just say for argument's sake, we could find a truck for $1,500 a month, which would be about $300 a week. I don't think you're gonna rent the dump truck for much less than that.
It's gonna be
it'll be more than that.
all about that.
Okay, so my point is, that's $9,000 right there that you're just gonna add to this whole scenario,
Extra cost.
right? It's just extra, you know, you're gonna fix the truck anyways, if that's where we're gonna go. The only thing, unless we're gonna order a new one, you know, which I don't think nobody here is ready to do that for $210,000.
I just don't like
2 years
the
out.
one-year warranties.
Right, it's 2 years out,
And it's 2
right?
years
I
old.
just don't like the one-year warranties only under the new parts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, they ain't gonna warranty the rest of the truck.
No, see, they're taking a lot of parts off that motor.
Yep.
They are, and that's.
Yeah, they're building a motor, by the way. This ain't a crate motor. You can see, they're getting blocks and things like that. They're putting this together. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't a full.
And they're taking, you said they're taking
not-
alternators and everything else off the old one, you know, the whole 9 yards.
So they're rebuilding it.
Not the current one, I mean, it's not.
So this isn't a crate motor where you're gonna get a factory warranty on it.
Completely, no. We're using parts from our old one that can be salvaged, and new stuff.
I trust Rick's input.
Any other comments, questions? If not, is there a motion?
I move that we approve UP International Trucks to complete the repairs as outlined in the amount not to exceed $33,503.41.
Support.
Mr. Pop?
Yes.
Mrs. Drew?
Yes,
Mr. Kramer?
Yes.
Mr. Minigini?
Yes.
Mr. Morale?
Yes.
And we do hope this was Rick said we padded this, we're hoping it doesn't cost.
Yeah, I saw that 3,500 in there,
You know,
a couple other
total, but
things.
nevertheless, it's not a good day.
Should we try and fight for a little bit better warranty?
Yeah? Yeah, I think the warranty thing in general is something Rick's trying to make sure we get extended on everything.
move on to item 2, discussion action, council meeting schedule.
So we're bringing this back from the last meeting. I got my original memo in there as well. Brett and Jeff weren't here for this, so council wanted them present to discuss any potential changes. The premise here, you know, the mayor and I discussed, and some staff discussed, and some council discussed, wanting to have meetings start earlier than 7. And so that's where we're at.
I know the last meeting when we talked, we were looking at Wednesday, but I put your input in that you golf on Wednesdays.
Yeah,
So we didn't wanna make a decision
yeah.
based, you know, without you guys being here.
Why are we moving days, I guess?
I think the idea of moving days was just to accommodate anyone for earlier time. Staff, we don't, days doesn't
I'm all for the
matter to
earlier
us.
time.
It's just earlier time, but days for staff, we don't.
It's a little harder for me on Mondays, because I have the kids to get here earlier, so
What about Tuesdays?
same, I got a Monday and Tuesday. But I can try to do it. I want to accommodate the council.
Yeah, for me, from a personal standpoint, you figure you play a couple rounds of, a short season, we play a couple rounds of, play every Wednesday. I'd lose half my Wednesdays in the summer. That's about 25% of the rounds.
I know, I understand.
And I know it's golf, Jeff, but
No, I get it.
Yeah, you're paying money for it.
It's your thing.
It's your thing, we all have our
I appreciate
stuff.
that.
Yeah, that's why we didn't want to move forward without you being here and your.
But I'm for 6, and whatever works best for you. Besides that, Ken, I'm all for it. And I won't be on the council forever either, so I'm sure, so you guys can
These
always,
things always change with
yeah.
turnover. I mean, nothing's set in stone for these.
Well, if you guys want to go for 6, I can, if something comes up and I have the girls, it's, they're a little bit, they're 3 and Callie's 7, so.
Is there any school or sports implications, whether Monday or Tuesday? Sounds like Monday and Tuesday are kind of the days where it's
School is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
That was another reason we were looking at Wednesday too, because of the sports thing. That's why I moved them actually at the school when I first started, it was Mondays, and I missed all my kids' sporting events and.
Hey, you
My
guys
kids,
can,
my
you guys
kids.
can move them to Wednesdays if you move it to Wednesday, move it to Wednesday. I'll have a decision to make, that's all,
No, I don't wanna do that.
you know?
I don't wanna do that. I'm more accommodating. I'll figure it out. Do 6 o'clock if you wanna do 6 o'clock on Mondays. If I have to take the girls with, I'll have to take them with.
We got seats.
Right, they can sit until,
Learn.
Grant said he babysit for,
Like Ian did.
he said he babysit for you, yeah, Grant, he'll take out there, take care of it.
It's good civic education.
right.
There you
They'll
go.
be fine. They'll be fine. So I wanna accommodate your golfing. I don't
Thank you,
wanna,
appreciate that. You wanna stick with Mondays at 6 then?
yeah, Mondays are better because he definitely works later on Tuesdays.
All right. I'm good with that.
That works.
Thank you.
Mhm. So we'll start that at the beginning of the year?
Yeah. We'll
That would be best for me to get it.
Yep.
Do we have to vote on it, or is this just
Well,
something-
actually, we'll bring back
Next meeting.
a resolution.
Mhm.
You'll have your new meeting times at the next couple meetings anyway. We have to vote on it, the dates and times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but we wanna talk about it
But
first.
we'll bring a resolution at the next meeting for that change regardless, just so we can get it. And then, it wouldn't go into effect until the first of the year.
That's fine.
That was good, thank you.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yep, move on to mayor council comments. Scott?
Just stay warm, Thanksgiving.
I have none, thank you.
I did notice that in the executive memo, you started getting some numbers on the sewer credit from this summer. Once again, please press Brock into getting back in front of us with the final data so we can take a look. Because I don't want this really climb into next year,
No.
No, it won't.
you know what I'm saying? And yes, happy Thanksgiving, everybody be safe.
Rico?
Want to thank everyone who voted in the November 8th election. We haven't seen each other since then, right? Good turnout. And I want to thank our new police chief and police crew. They've definitely been making their presence more visible in and around the school. Especially during, those busy times of morning drop-off, afternoon pickup. They've done a great job.
Oh, that's great.
Chief Wilkie has definitely made it a priority to be there and to be visible, and to have his staff there and be visible. And I think it's making a great impact.
Great.
So I appreciate that.
None of us were up last time, this year? Nobody was up this year? Next year? I didn't think so.
I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family, and I look forward to seeing the Christmas lights this year. Lit up, and we got some new ones gonna be up, so they should be lit up on Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
Yes,
Dan?
yes.
You have any comments?
I'll just, speak to Jeff's. Yeah, I have, some starting data. I just wanted to kind of show that we are trying to pull together. Brock is actually getting his stuff together. It's just a matter of him and I sitting down and starting to pour through it and then coming up with some, alternatives for you guys to have. Again, hopefully, goal here, we'll have something for you, in December. So we are moving forward with that.
Great.
And that's all.
Grant, did you have anything tonight?
Nothing, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Natalie? Trish? No? All right, we will be going into closed session for MCLA 15.268, Section 8E, for tax tribunal update. And when we come out, we will not be taking any action, we will just adjourn. Do I have a motion to go into?
Motion, we go into closed session.
That was more roll call.
Trish, you didn't do roll call.
She did.
Usually stop the table.
You can
Do
do
roll
roll
call
call to go
first.
into closed
Going
session.
into session.
You have-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's first. Okay.
Mrs. Drew,
Yes?
Mr. Kramer,
Yes.
Mr. Menegini,
Yes.
Mr. Mararo.
Yes.
Mr. Pop.
Yes.
Thank you, Trish.